Hello everyone and welcome to another Robcast Revenge of the Nerd podcast event edition. Event, I said. Yes, this is an entirely different thing. Yes. Hi guys, it's Rob Cicetto coming from the studio you may well know from countless live streams and podcasts and other things. So this is the studio again. Welcome. It's time for another review of an event I was just at recently. This weekend, Saturday. It was the Makers North Christmas market. As if you didn't know from the thumbnail. And here is the long and short of it. I'm going to try to keep it the short of it. But here we go. My absolutely very first time at the Makers North Collective art show and market. This show was for artists and artisans and makers of things, and a lot of surprised faces seeing me there. I was like, what am I doing here? This place is way too scented for me. Too much apple spice in the air. It doesn't seem like a place I'd fit in, and I kind of didn't. I didn't really fit in with the artists that were there showing their things. And again, like absolutely fantastic and amazing pieces from artists all over the North. And makers of all kinds of things, like woodwork and leather stuff and jewelry and all those things. There was edibles there, like there was honey, there was chocolates and all kinds of things. I don't mean like pot stuff. Well, there might have been pot stuff. I don't know, but when I mean edibles, I mean things that you could eat. So let me get right to the thing. So in doing this, I was kind of hesitant, but I wanted to at least say that I'd been to one of these and tried to make a go of it. Knowing full well right from the get-go, I was not I wasn't really the kind of artist that you would expect to see at a thing like this, and I was kind of like thinking, well, maybe that's a good thing. Who knows? That's what I wanted to find out. So I thought, yes, I'm going to do it. I actually, if you guys didn't know, I actually have an agent who takes care of some of the things that I do. In terms of going to conventions and things like that, organization of things, and a few other things, but very, very important things, and a lot of stuff that given my incredibly as you probably well know, incredibly tight work schedule, as I'm drawing almost all the time, creating content, so I had an agent, I have an agent rather, and that individual took care of the insurance issue that I had. I didn't have insurance for this con. I was kind of asked to get insurance, I think like maybe a week before the thing, and I was like, oh man, I don't know what this is all about. So I asked my agent if he could look into the insurance aspect, which he did, and everything was fine. I was privy to the emails. I was CC'd in the emails, so I saw what was kind of being said back and forth, and I was like, oh, this is great, fantastic. Now I kind of even know myself how to go about doing it. But nonetheless, the ultimately what I got out of those emails, the communication was, I was booked for Saturday. I was supposed to go Saturday. My agent said to the organizers, he'll be there Saturday, and I think they responded with right on, or fantastic, or we can't wait, or we'll see you, or blah blah blah, whatever. Something of that nature, kind of confirming that I was going to be there Saturday. Well, Saturday morning, I was up at quarter to 6, and I looked at a fellow artist's map where that person was going to be on Facebook, and I wasn't on that map anywhere. And I was like, I started to kind of like wonder what was going on. But I was already packed up and everything, and so I went, and I thought, well, I'm going to go and see what's going on. I couldn't find the Sunday map at all, anywhere, like in any of their sites or their Facebook page or anything. So I was like kind of confused and wondering what was going on. So when I got there, getting there was tough too. I've never been to that building before, and I've lived in this city forever. I've never really been to that building before other than to drop someone off once, and the entrance is on the other side, so it's kind of a weird setup. When I got in there, I thought, this is a very weird venue to be doing this in, and I think a lot of that was reflected with other folks telling me that too. They did not like the venue. They really liked the venue that they had prior. Not that that was an option, but the venue was kind of, it was a dark maze, and that's an awful venue to have when you have crafts and all kinds of like folks, you know, showing stuff. You want there to be lots of light, and so people can see the things, right? So I thought the venue was not great, but anyway, and that was reflected, like I said, by other people telling me that, because I'd never been to one of these before. They were telling me that this venue is not great compared to the other venues that they had in prior years. And I don't know how long this has been going on, maybe like 10 years, I'm going to say. But anyway, one of the organizers said, "Oh, well, it doesn't look like you're on this map. Who are you?" And I was like, "Rob Succhetto, Zombie Portraits." And she was like, "Okay, it doesn't look like you're on the Sunday map either." So, and I said, "Well, I couldn't find the Sunday map." And she said, "Well, it doesn't look like you're on there either. So there was probably a mistake or whatever." So she ended up putting me in a room, I think with two other vendors and a coffee guy. So Old Raw Coffee was there in that room, and it was well lit. It was this kind of smaller room off the side of the main hallway venue and all that other stuff. So I'm like, great. Let's see what happens in this room. Well, the room itself wasn't that bad. In fact, people were coming into the room, like they were filtering into the room from the outside saying, "You guys got the best room, the best place in this building because it's madness out there and people can't even move around. And like you've got it's light in here, there's not that, and plus there's coffee." So I'm like, man, you know what? I actually think I did really luck out, despite the fact that no one knew I was going to kind of even be there, and I wasn't on the Saturday map. So about 20 minutes after I'd started setting up, the organizers came into the room and they said, "Oh, you were supposed to be here Sunday, but since you're here, you might as well stay here." And I'm like, okay. And I thought, if I was booked for Sunday, I probably wouldn't have gone, knowing kind of what I was looking at. I probably wouldn't have come back. And I really felt that. I was like, I don't know. Ultimately, the day I had was absolutely fantastic. I was well received for the most part. Most people really did actively ignore me because of just what I was doing, but I was drawing all day there. I made great contacts with other folks, other artists, and people that I will probably contact in the future for various things. I made a super fan of this little 4-year-old boy. Oh my goodness, he wouldn't leave my table the whole time, wanting to draw and stuff, and it was just adorable. And the parents thanked me profusely for just taking care of him in terms of being a buddy type of thing. So that was absolutely precious. I had such a great time with that little boy, drawing and just talking about zombies and stuff. It was great. So I had a wonderful day, despite the chaos I kind of felt from everything else. Like people seemed very off kilter, I think, there. But again, I was surprisingly well received by a number of people, and ultimately I did very well monetarily. I came out of there going, man, I didn't think I'd make a dime I just wanted to see how many people would be laughing at me, type of thing, going into this Christmas fair type of thing. So the load in and load out was awful. There's literally a slant going into the building. Like the load in wasn't as bad as loading out. Loading out was treacherous. It was raining at that point. It was pitch black at like 4:30. I mean, that has nothing to do with the con itself, other than the fact that, yeah, like that entranceway was not great. I don't know how other people did it, because they had really heavy things and stuff, but like, despite the fact that I have I have 4 bins and a trolley. Now, mind you, you had to bring your table and chair, which I thought was kind of like, it kind of sucked, because they said you could only have 1 7-foot table. You had 1 7-foot space, so you had to make the best of it. Well, when I was put in that room, it was like, well, I actually had probably more like 12 feet or more to spare, but because it was they seemingly did this for me last minute. I had to, even the fact that I brought more and different stuff, I had to make do with 1 table, man. Which I used my bins to actually create another surface, because I could have had way more space. And then I look behind this curtain, and there's like nothing but chairs everywhere. And I'm like thinking, oh man, I didn't have to bring this chair. And probably no one around here needed to bring a chair, because there's tons of chairs there. Now, I guess you couldn't use those chairs, but I took one of those chairs out because that little boy I was mentioning earlier wanted to sit down. I'm like, oh, I'll get you a chair, So I went behind that curtain and grabbed the chair for him. So I'm like, man, and that's why I have to say, I didn't think it was like the pinnacle of organization. I think it seemed a bit kind of chaotic almost, and the fact that I was booked Sunday, but thought I was, obviously, and for obvious reasons, as I mentioned earlier, that I was booked Saturday. That's what kind of threw me off. It kind of threw me off, and like I said, I probably wouldn't have come back for the Sunday if I had to go back. If I had to go back home after bringing all my stuff there, I probably wouldn't have come. But I would have definitely told them. I would have definitely told them that I would have forfeited my table and all that stuff. But and to give it to someone else who would need it, or would like it. That's kind of how I felt. Like I said, I did rather well, despite the fact that I probably shouldn't have been there. And again, a lot of artists were like looking at me like, what's that guy doing here, type of thing, He doesn't draw landscapes and stuff, he doesn't have anything scented. And I'm not knocking any of the other artists, by the way, by saying that. Like, the stuff that I saw while I was walking around was absolutely wonderful, and yeah. But you know what? Here's this. I doubt I'll be doing this again. I doubt I'll be doing this con again. I would rather have my table go to someone who kind of belongs there more, and I don't really feel that I did. I kind of felt, and for obvious reasons, right? Like that's not really my crowd. However, a lot of people, man, bought tons of stuff, and the graphic novel and the zombie handbook flew off the table. I was blown away. I couldn't believe that. So not so much prints, but more, and I had originals there too. I brought originals there. Mind you, they were in the box, so people maybe couldn't see them as plainly, but I thought, hey, you know what? Maybe people like to buy originals at things like this, so I brought a ton of original sketches and stuff, and things, but they didn't, I don't think I sold one. The little bowl that I made, that I showed in my last live stream, I brought that full of the temp tattoos, and some of those sold, but virtually nothing else. I think I sold one card pack. And the rest was like Prince and Zombie Handbook and Cape Fear graphic novel and the comic and the prequel comic. So I did relatively well. I got nothing. I've got nothing negative to say about how I performed there. And you know, meeting fans there was interesting. Definitely interesting. Not what I would have counted on, but I really wanted to try this one, guys. I really wanted to try this one and see how it was. But again, I didn't like the venue. I didn't think the venue was great. I didn't think it really complimented the artist there, and because of just the light and just the way the setup was. It was like a dark maze in there. And if you'd never been to that building before, you'd probably be pretty confused as to even where to go, because man, it was like I went up a totally different road to try to get in there, and I'm like, no, I guess this isn't it. So anyway, it was kind of baffling, a baffling experience, and the loadout was just terrible because it was awful outside by that point. And then there was only one way in and out for you to bring your gear, right, your stuff. So yeah, I didn't think it was great for that. But again, you know, the organizers, wonderful people. They even brought around a snack cart with, you know, water and chips and cookies and things like that, which was really nice. I thought that was kind of like, oh, that's interesting, good. You know, that's a nice little thing that, and you know, a lot of con organizers kind of at least have water there for you and stuff like that. But I think they went the extra mile here and had that little cart, which was great. So that was an uptick for the con as well. But I think that's my review, guys. I think that's all of the highlights of the thing. I hope everyone had a great time. I met some wonderful people. I have to shout out to the organizers. Thank you for having me. I was probably not the best suited for that event. Probably, but did it anyway. Wanted to see how it would go, and you know what, guys, try things, man. Try things once, see how they go. You know, if you have the ways and means to do so, do so. And see how it goes. You might be surprised. I was actually surprised. So, guys, thank you for watching. Please subscribe and thumbs up the video. The thumbs up really does a huge service to reaching more people and for me personally making more content and more reviews. And these reviews are pretty tough sometimes, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes, you know, organizers maybe might feel a little bit PO'd by your observations, and my observations are just that. I observe and report. I don't make things up to embellish or to make things ultra realistic. They are very realistic, and reality is the only thing I subscribe to. So currently in this mental state that I've got. So guys, please thumbs up the video. Subscribe to the channel for more content. I hope you found this entertaining, educational, and somewhat tiring. But I will be back again very soon. I will be doing, if you've listened this far, I hope you have, I will be doing a live stream tonight. On this very channel in the live section. So come and join me tonight if you have the time and want to see me droll. Okay, I love you guys. Best wishes and love until I see you again, which will be later on today. Okay, until then, take care. Bye for now. Rob signing out.